Okay, let's go. What happened next?
Hey, did dad ever come? She's like, oh, nah, he didn't make it. But, you can tell him on wedding day what he needs to do. I'm like, okay, no problems. But now listen, I have now never seen or met her father. All right. I don't know what this man looks like. I don't know anything about this man. I asked her specifically because I do not know what your father looks like. Could you ask him upon his arrival if he could come to the ballroom? Because I wanted everyone there, men in particular, everyone there to be about an hour to arrive about an hour before the ceremony was to begin. Okay. And so I wanted to have him come directly to the ballroom because the groomsmen and the groom, they knew what they needed to do. They were at the rehearsal, but I wanted him to come to the ballroom so that I could tell him really quickly what he needs to do. And also so I could familiarize myself with him. I had not met this gentleman and I didn't want to have any mistakes happen on wedding day. All right. She says, I got you. No problem. Daddy will be there. Blah, blah, blah. So I have departed the venue. All is well with the world. On Friday, I send the bride a message. Okay, I reminded her to make sure that your son arrives at the venue at this particular time to avoid any issues. All right. Make sure that these centerpieces are put together as you have shared with me that they would. And don't forget to have dad come to the ballroom to seek out either myself, and I told her my assistant's name. He could also ask for her. All right. She says, hey, all is good. I will see you tomorrow at such and such time. She says, thank you for everything, Desiree. And hey, I went on about my day. So now let's go ahead and jump into the wedding day. It is a beautiful Saturday. And when I tell you beautiful, it was perfect outside. A perfect hot ass day in June at a country club that was absolutely stunning. The grounds to this country club are absolutely stunning. The ceremony was going to be outside. And when I tell you the sun was at its peak, probably not a photographer's dream, but a couple would be very, very happy with the weather we got this day. So when we arrived, myself and my assistant, we go right on into the ballroom. There was no one in there, but there were a lot of boxes near the head table. I'm like, oh, great. The son brought the candelabras. So her and I head on over because that was something that we wanted to tackle first. We still had a lot of very small, intricate, detailed things that we needed to do to the guest tables with the place cards, table tent cards. Yeah, she has some table tent cards, table numbers, all these things. We had some details that we needed to put out, but I wanted to see these centerpieces. I wanted to make sure all was well with them. Like I said to you all, there was no one in the ballroom at this time, just her and I. And we went over to these boxes. They were tall boxes. I was like, oh, great, the centerpieces. We opened them up. We pulled the centerpieces out. I'm like, okay, she did what she said she was going to do. There was the base, there was the candelabra, there was the candles, okay? I'm like, they look strange though. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just knew something was missing. So we take these centerpieces out and we start to place them on the table. And when I tell you, it took us probably maybe 15, 20 minutes. They weren't crazy heavy or anything like that. And they were already assembled. We set them out on all of the tables as instructed based on that beautiful floor plan. And that was it. There was nothing else in those boxes. So I was like, okay, this is good. But like I told you all, I'm looking at them and I'm like, something is weird about these centerpieces. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I knew something wasn't right, okay? You probably already know what it is. But in that moment, I'm like, something is missing, right? I decided that I needed to text the bride to just make sure that these were the centerpieces, that nothing was missing, and that we could go ahead, take them out of the boxes, and place them on the table. Normally, I would not have second guessed, okay? I would have left it as it was, but like I had told you all, this bride was very, very detailed from all the information she had shared with me, emails, floor plans. I just, again, wanted to make sure all was well with the world because something is triggering me to send this text message. I sent a text message to her. It took her probably 15 minutes to get back to me again. During this time, I believe, if I remember correctly, she was probably in makeup, okay? And so she's not looking at her phone. She replied back. She says, hey, send me a photograph. I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. Let's do it. I sent her a picture of what they looked like on the table. She replied back immediately. She says, oh, they look perfect. Thank you so very much. They're exactly what I put together, what I sent. My son did great. I'm like, yes, he did. Kudos to him. You got a great son. You know, I'm complimenting her and all those good things. I say, go ahead, beautiful. Finish with your makeup. Do those things. I'll see you in about an hour and a half over at the venue. Me and my assistant move on with our lives, okay? We finish doing what we need to do at the venue because we know wedding party members are going to be arriving in a little bit, and I didn't want to be in the ballroom having to do all these little last-minute meticulous items. So I told my assistant, let's go ahead and wrap these things up. The bride says all is well with these centerpieces. Like I said, I sent her a photo. She said all is well with these centerpieces. I went on about my day, and we got everything wrapped up in there because the wedding party was going to be arriving in a little while, and I didn't want to, be dealing with those small, intricate details when all of these people start coming at us with questions, et cetera, et cetera. Now, wedding party arrives, all right? The bridesmaids and the bride come. They head on up to the bridal suite. This is where the do you want to come down? Do you want to see the space? She says, oh, no, everything is good. I trust you. I'm having a wonderful day, blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay, good. Hey, I love it. A bride is happy because y'all know half of these stories, they be tripping. Something is going on. I was like, I don't want no smoke. Let's keep this one happy. The groom and the groomsmen arrive. I take them outside. They are taking some photographs out there with the photographer before they come back inside and finish with the bride. So things are looking wonderful. Things are looking great. As we get to the point now that I need to begin to start maneuvering the wedding party into different locations within this venue because we're going to be starting this ceremony in a little bit, I realized I still have not met Dad yet. So I head on up to the bridal suite. I says, hey, where's your father? I have not met him yet. She was like, oh yeah, he's on his way. I was like, okay, good. I said, is mom's good? And mom was in the suite at that time. She says, hello, I'm her mother, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, nice to meet you. Hey, wonderful. I says, you know what? Remember, or maybe you can text him or somebody in here could text him to have him come to the ballroom when he arrives. Okay, great. I'm like, ooh, okay, this is working out really well. I'm happy. This is how it's supposed to be. We're doing our job. They're doing their job. Everybody is where they're supposed to be, almost everybody. And I'm like, yay, we're going to start on time. I'm super, super happy, right? It is now at the point in which I need to start lining up the wedding party. And so I bring the girls out of the bridal suite and we take them on down to the lower level, all right, so that they can join the gentlemen and just kind of hang out in this little, what they call golf room until it's time for the ceremony to begin. I have my assistant stay upstairs with the bride, and I now begin to line up all of the wedding party members. And so I walkie-talkied my assistant, and I'm like, hey, where have you seen the dad? Like, could you ask her, is her dad here? Because I've asked the groom, is dad here? You obviously know what he looks like, but I don't. This gentleman did not come see us in the ballroom. He's not down here. Is he on property? The bride told my assistant she hasn't seen him. She doesn't know what's going on with him. He's not here. I had my assistant ask her, do you want to start on time or do you want to wait for your father? Do we want to try to find out where he's at? Is he nearby? What is going on? She was adamant and said, no, she wanted to start on time. Don't worry about it. Find her son. Her son will walk her down the aisle. Okay, so I am now in the golf room with the wedding party, and the son who was going to be escorting her mom down the aisle says, hey, what I need you to do is once you get mom down the aisle, I need you to double back because you're going to walk your mom down the aisle. And he was like, okay, cool, no problem. Not a single person in this space asked why were we changing and not having dad walk her down the aisle. I'm not going to lie, I'm grateful for that because I didn't know what the hell to say. So, hey, get the wedding party lined up. Cue the DJ, the wedding party starts to process down the aisle. I tell my assistant, bring the bride down. We're going to go ahead, and her son is down here waiting for her. Okay, so the bride comes down this beautiful staircase outside, and at the landing, she meets up with her son, and they head on down the aisle. As the ceremony is going on, a woman comes back towards where I am standing. And she says to me, why didn't her father walk her down the aisle? Now, if you are watching this versus listening, you would have saw my eyebrows raised. Because I'm like, baby girl, I don't know what you're talking about. Her father, he's here? And she was like, yeah, he's sitting up in the front. I said, we have been looking for this man. I believe an APB was put out on him. Police, firemen, patrol cars, all of the things looking for this man, and we could not locate him. I've asked numerous people. I even asked his daughter, was he here? And she said no. She was like, oh, he's been here. He's been sitting in the front. Oh, okay. Wonderful. So you're coming back here to ask me in this moment why her dad didn't walk her down the aisle? And she's like, yeah, because he's been here and, he's a little upset. I'm like, well, look, the ceremony is going on now. He'll have to talk to us about that later. I said, okay, I don't know what to do. I never met this man. I've asked about where is this man at? He didn't come to rehearsal. He didn't come to the ballroom. People are calling. They're looking for him. Like I said, we got all types of people out here looking for this man. And this man has been here the entire time and didn't say a damn thing. What am I supposed to do? I'm not psychic. All right. I didn't know this man. I don't really know who this woman was. I am hearing her talk to me, but I'm also trying to hear what's going on in the ceremony because at the conclusion, I need to make sure that I bring everybody back to where they need to be, start moving guests, shuffling guests back into the building, upstairs for cocktails, make sure they are at their proper seating. Ma'am, the ceremony's already going on. So for him to ask, why he didn't walk down the aisle, I don't know. He's got to probably take that up with his daughter at a later time. I'm not sure what that was all about. She wasn't rude or anything, and by no means was I rude to her. She went on ahead and sat back down. So ceremony has concluded. The bride comes out. She's smiling. She's happy. The groom is happy. Wedding party. Thankfully, no issues with them. We go on ahead and put them in their holding area, their waiting area, so we can get all the guests inside of the building, and then the wedding party can come back out on the beautiful grounds and take photographs, okay? At this point, the dad now comes back and I have discovered that is dad, all right, because someone introduced me to him that this was the father. And I was like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. I didn't say we were looking for you, but it's nice to meet you. I says, why don't you hang out here so that you can take some photographs with your daughter, blah, blah, blah. He said, cool. He didn't seem agitated or upset. I think that woman just wanted to do something. I don't know. He didn't seem upset or anything like that. The bride saw her father. She wasn't necessarily smiling, but she went on ahead and took the photographs with her father as she did with her mother and his parents, as well as family, friends, etc., etc. It is now time for the introductions to begin inside of the reception. Now, this is when the story gets very, very exciting.
Tune in next week for the conclusion of Guest Table Interruptions.